Okay, so I wanted to start a new weekly video that was a little more in my other world, which is theater and film stuff, and just a little more costumey or a little different from what I normally do on my clients and what I normally show on my live videos during the week, which is, standard pretty makeup. I wanted to do something a little more fun and a little more engaging for that side of my clientele. So we're going to start with the fabulous Glenn Close from Dangerous Liaisons, and we're going to be trying to recreate her opera look at the end whenever it all goes downhill for her. So I'm going to, I don't normally start off with base, but for this one I feel like everything is kind of dependent on the base because it is such a departure from the type of makeup that I normally wear and that we are normally used to seeing. So I am taking the lightest of the Limelight foundation. These mine are all just depotted for my work kit. And this is lighter than mine. This one was actually created for Queen Amidala from Star Wars, the 3 that came out later. So I am paling myself out. I know you didn't think this face could get any paler, but it does. And I just realized that I still have eye makeup on. Shame on me. I've been chasing my tail all day, and my brain is currently being siphoned by the cutest 4-month-old in the whole wide world, so I know you'll forgive me for that. Let me go. Cleaner slate. Now I've got my polka dots, so now I'm going to take my blender bowl and I am going to spread that all over. I want to make sure that I got a nice coverage with this guy, so I'm actually going to take my sponge into it. I want it to be obvious that there is a coating of makeup on my face. Normally I'm about blending it in so that it just looks like nice, pretty skin, but this time around I want you to know I'm wearing makeup. So, because of Trivia 101, this time period, lead was used in a lot of the makeup for the ladies and the gentlemen too. The gentlemen would pale out their face as well. And so you see these pictures of people from that era, the French Georgian era, where they've got these little hearts or little spades or little diamonds drawn on their faces. That's because the makeup that they used was lead-based and it was wrecking their skin and it was causing wounds and lesions, so they would put those little things, little stickers or makeup on top of it to cover up the fact that the makeup was ruining their face. So makeup on top of makeup, it's like just cyclical bad decisions back in that day. And that's saying something for the French Revolution. Okay, so foundation is on. Now I can really start working with the eye makeup and everything that goes on top of it, because unless I've got everything paled out first, anything else isn't going to look right until I have that in place. So now I'm going with what my normal process. So I'm going back and forth between these lighter grays and browns. She's barely got any definition with the face at all, which was very much that time period, so I'm just barely going in my crease. Just barely getting that contour right there. Grayed out. Unhealthy was the you wanted to look as though you led a life of leisure. You didn't have to go outside. You didn't have to work. You could sit in your beautiful palace all day and do nothing, let the servants do everything. So now I'm taking white and I'm going on my eyelid and on my brow bone. wanting to make sure that I'm pumping that highlight on my eyebrows. She's got barely any eyeliner on, and what she does have is a brown. So I'm taking my super skinny liner brush and I'm taking this brown right here, this guy down here. And I am just right at my lash line, doing the thinnest line in the history of ever. Just right along that lash line on top. And if it's possible, I want an even thinner line on the bottom. So right there at the lash line, looking up, right there at the lash line. Okay, just barely anything there. Okay, so now brows, hers are brushed straight up. Which is not a look I normally rock, but you know, we're making it work. And then I'm gonna take my other liner brush and I'm taking this kind of a reddish brown. And I'm following those brows that I just combed up. Going straight up with my strokes and painting what's already there. So now I've got my eyes very subtly done, my eyebrows brushed up, my face is done. I want to take a little bit of blush. I'm going to take this guy right here, my little Limelight wine colored one. And I'm going to do it just here. I'm not going on my cheeks, I'm not even on my apples, I'm not on my cheekbones. It's just right here. I don't want it to look like I spend too much time outdoors. I don't want that healthy glow. I want to look like I am peaked at having to get out of bed in the morning. So just a little bit of color right there. I'm going to set all of this with my powder, my setting powder. Just rub it on there, work it in, work it in. And then mascara would be the next step. I'm going to go on top and bottom since I put mascara there, or liner there. Words are hard, forgive me. So now I've got that. I'm actually going to mix these two guys together. That's the cherry pie and the candy apple together to be the lip color. She's got, it's very jarring on her. I mean, Glenn Close is a very handsome woman in this movie, and that pale, 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 and then that just slice of red right across her mouth is just very, ooh, and it's a good effect. It works quite nicely. Okay, so I'm just taking a little lip brush and I'm mixing those two together because I wanted it to be a deeper red like my cherry pie, but I also wanted it to be a little more orangey like the candy apple. So let's mix things together. And working that in there. I'm not trying to necessarily thin my lips out or make them any fuller. I'm just using what is naturally there. Now if I want to go back, this would be, I think that's pretty close. But if I want to go back and take a little bit of that lighter brown that we used for the eyeshadow initially. I want to take a little bit of that, just the wrong color, take 2, and just along my nose, a little bit under the cheek, get a little bit of definition there. Jawline. If we were doing this for a stage production, I would definitely be rocking the contour so that way the audience could see my face moving. Okay, so now I feel perfectly equipped to tell Valmont that we are at